So between riders and spectators and volunteers, there might be a couple of boo-boos that happen.
That's
and
right.
if there's a couple of boo-boos that happen, don't worry. Dr. Eric Warren, he is from Atrium Health. He's the Chief Medical Officer, is here to put on a Band-Aid and more.
I appreciate your use of medical terminology with boo-boos. That was perfect.
My medical degree is more along the lines of Fisher-Price. I'm sure that's how you got your start, right?
Initially, yes, and then I built a little from there. That's right.
Or WebMD.
Yeah, that's our other favorite source of, I'm sure you love when people come to you and say, well, the internet told me this is wrong with me, and you say, absolutely not.
Or absolutely. Sometimes they're right.
Okay,
Sometimes they're right. They're not always wrong.
Oh, my goodness. Okay, walk us through your day out here at the Rock Hill BMX Supercross track, because earlier this morning we saw you, because you've got a red shirt on, as well as others in red shirts, walking the track, walking shoulder by shoulder, look like you're scanning the track, doing some drills. So take us from there, what a day looks like.
We have roughly 35 to 40 medical workers out here between the Atrium Piedmont Medical Center partnership, and every day starts with a rehearsal on the track. We want to practice different ways riders can go down so that we're not doing that when they're actually racing. And this track has some really steep inclines. There can be some really bad injuries. We practice riders going off the side of the hill, all of those scenarios that can happen, so that it's common nature for us once we get out there in a real race.
And you have to do this every morning of the week. It's not like you just come out and do it once and say, okay, we're done, dress rehearsal over. Like, you do this every single morning.
This is our 8th straight day of going through that rehearsal. We want to be seamless in the care we provide, safely provide it, and then there's other races that have to happen, so you have to be quick. Our goal is to have them off the track in about 3.5 minutes, even with a spine injury, safely.
You mentioned the partnership between Atrium Health and Piedmont, so obviously explain that relationship and how you all are coming together this week and what you're able to do here on site instead of sometimes having to transport someone to a physical hospital.
With an event of this size, with that many riders, Lucas, like you talked about, we have to have two healthcare systems come together. And so with all of those workers, we've got the track well covered. We also have Med1, which is a fully functioning mobile hospital where we can do x-ray on site. We can do ultrasounds like of the abdomen, the stomach to look for bleeds. There's so many things we can do that we've had days where we haven't taken a single rider to the hospital because we've answered all our questions here. So it's great care provided here. It's a cost savings to the rider. Everyone wins with that.
What are some of the injuries that maybe you've seen this week or that you've seen in the past dealing with BMX? I mean, how, hopefully we hope everyone has a great race, but how bad can this get? I mean, this is an extreme sport.
So like Lucas said, we have boo-boos. Those are out there. So we've checked that box. But this week we've had a penetrating abdominal wound where it's gone all the way down to the organs, where it's basically an anatomy lesson and we can see everything. We've had fractures. We've had one rider who had 6 fractures from one crash alone. And then we get a lot of road rash, concussions, things like that. But it can really vary in severity. In 2017, we had 3 spine fractures, none of which resulted in paralysis. But that's the degree of injury that can happen. Fortunately, we haven't seen that yet this year.
And you're getting a front row seat most of the time with these injuries, right? Because 9 times out of the 10, we come to you at the hospital and you're having to play detective. What were you doing? What was going on? How does that help you all if you're here on site and you can almost see it happening?
Well, that's an excellent point. We have 2 ER doctors who are here, and they're not used to seeing the athletes that quickly after the injury. And so the paramedics sometimes have had to say, normally we've cleaned this up a lot more before it's come to you, but this is what we're seeing in the field all the time. Our team out here, being that close to the action, actually has to protect themselves. So there was an official who was hit a couple years ago and spent 3 weeks in the hospital. These riders can get up to 40, 45 miles an hour. So our team that close to the action has to protect themselves and make sure all the riders are gone before they get on the track to try to help someone.
So where exactly are y'all placed? I mean, we're looking at it here. Like, are you like in the middle? Are you like around the outskirts of the track? What does that look like? Are you all over the place?
We have 6 formal positions that our paramedics and EMTs are in, and they're basically in between the straightaways. So near the turns and in between the straightaways. And then myself, Daniel Thomason, Chris Mooney, some Piedmont Health medical leaders, we're roaming the track trying to support those individuals as well.
Dr. Eric Warren is with Atrium Health. He is the Chief Medical Officer. Dr. Warren, how do you handle like the language barrier? Because again, we have got 41 countries represented. What does that look like?
Sometimes that goes seamlessly because we have interpreters in Med 1, and we even have an iPad with every language on there. But sometimes on the track, we have our funny moments. I had an injured individual a few days ago, and I thought she might be Hispanic based off clinical appearance and her jersey, which I didn't recognize. So I started asking her in Spanish, ¿Dónde está su dolor? Su dolor solamente aquí, pointing to her knee. And she looked at me and she goes, what? And I said, do you speak English? And she said, yeah, I'm Australian. I said, okay, so where are you hurting? And so we have funny moments as well while we're out there.
And in your role, you're able to travel around a lot. I know your home base is there at Atrium, but this has been able to open a lot of doors for you. You were here in 2017, here in obviously 2024, but you also went to other racing championships.
Yeah, I went to Glasgow in 2023. We talked about it a little bit earlier before our viewers came on. I've done World's Strongest Man for 3 years and been flown around for that. It is an interesting gig, the sports medicine job. So it's a lot of fun. It's different than just being in the clinic, working with athletic trainers and whomever all the time.
And you're also a part, or you're the medical professional for the Knights baseball team in Charlotte, too, as well.
That is correct. Yes, I get to take care of the AAA team, and I got a message a few days ago. They had just signed a free agent, needed him looked at that night. I'm down here, so trying to figure out how can I be in two places at one time, and you just try to make it work.
Now, remember a minute ago when they were doing some exercises on the, a dress rehearsal on the track, and I said I was a lifeguard and I can go and help. Well,
I'm going to make a disclaimer real fast. Go ahead and get your bingo ready if you're a normal, regular radio listener, because you're about to fill in a square. Go ahead, Lucas.
Dr. Warren told me I can come out there and be a volunteer.
Yes.
I said you could be a victim. You heard volunteer.
Okay.
I said victim, that you could wear the helmet, we could drape you over the side of the hill, and we would love to have you out there, Lucas. We'd love that.
And then also let's just get to it. Let's get it out of the way.
He said you were the world's strongest man.
He sure did. It was his words.
Okay.
I said basically, but that's almost the same.
That's it. I was
Officially.
pointing to him on my arm, a boo-boo, and he said, well, we see that in the World's Strongest Man competition, so you're my favorite doctor.
I'm glad I could help that, yes.
Okay.
Yesterday we talked to another doctor, and he told her this.
That's perfect.
You're my favorite doctor basically today.
There you go.
Wonderful.
There you
Is that
go.
okay?
No, you're great,
Oh,
Dr.
my goodness.
Warren.
Yeah,
You're
obviously
a great sport.
the spectators are in great hands here, the riders and everyone else, and we love that partnership between Atrium Health and Piedmont Medical Center. Like you said, this was such a big event. It's great to see our two hospitals coming together as one to support the community and have a good time out here.
I mean, that's our goal, is to help City of Rock Hill, to help protect these riders so UCI has a safe, great event, and I think we're achieving it.
Perfect. All right. His name is Dr. Eric Warren. He's with Atrium Health. He is the Chief Medical Officer.